versus Black Bear, though.
Yeah, you have to get big to intimidate if it's a brown bear, and you have to escape if it is a black bear.
Let's see if Dignitas are able to make themselves look big and intimidate Shopify Rebellion in this match here, because it's game 2. They're down in the series.
That was a great segue, and the start is looking like a Kalista lock-in for Tomo, so they may be wanting to go from those more lane-dominant 2v2s that we have seen Tomo and Isles kind of gravitate towards through their time together.
Yep. Things like Renata Glass, things like Nico would be the next high prio here for Isles specifically.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teams have actually dealt well with giving away Kalista priority and playing into it. So let's see about this. They do go to one of Bvoy's favorites, the Ezreal, one of those poke champions. So we assume that maybe not now, but at least by third pick, they grab, you know, a Karma or a Nico or something like that to complement it.
Yeah,
or that you can play the just get out of town card and have Sejuani on what's comfortable for him, a playmaking support, and kind of get out of there.
As we see the Ahri locked in for Palafox, now I'm super curious to see if something like the Sejuani would be coming out for Contractz, another Contractz pick, but also just something that, again, with an Ahri, you kind of want to be making picks in tandem with someone.
Let's see what that somebody is. Contractz has a lot of jungles he could pull out for this position, but specifically we noted in the Fury pick last game, it is Fearless Bans cannot go again. It's Sylas and Sejuani locked in, meanwhile, for Dignitas.
Yeah, and good response from Dig, getting Sheiden on that Sejuani, taking it away from Contractz. Again, a pick that he's super comfortable on, but then also pairs well with the Ahri and just playmaking lanes in general.
I'm actually have become a really big fan of Sylas into Ahri matchups too, just because I feel like as the game progresses, I'm always so much more happy to have the Sylas side of it, especially if you have a Sejuani. But even if you don't, because the Sylas becomes, it feels like it's able to do most of what Ahri's able to do, and it's just way more survivable, way more tanky, and becomes a lot more threatening. And then the Ahri play, as the game scales on, just becomes very difficult because you are so squishy, and it puts so much pressure on you to make a very good and quick play. But there we go. We get one of the Seos classics, the Leona pairing here with the Ezreal locked in. So that is a very good, you know, playmaker to not only play with Contractz, but also with the Ahri.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Kobe, that I just like Seos on playmakers, especially with his heavy roaming style. We see the Skarner removed by Dig, and then both the Nico and Renata removed on Shopify's ban side. That's really important because, again, they picked the Sylas and the Sejuani against what Shopify had picked up. Give up those 4 or 5 bans to take away 2 of the most powerful supports to pair with that Kalista.
Yeah, Isles loves playing both of these picks. Things like maybe Karma. I don't know if I love Karma Kalista necessarily, but that would kind of be the next in Isles' current champ pool that he's been showing us a lot of. But I also, when you see a Sylas this early, you're kind of showing a little bit of your card. That's why I think they pivoted to Leona rather than something like an Alistar, because now you always have to keep in mind, if you lock in an ultimate that Sylas wants to steal, that's scary.
Yeah, and we see the Pantheon is the final takeaway from Dig. I actually do like that, regardless of how I feel about Pantheon in this draft. I think it's nice to take away from Shopify and Contractz specifically, because again, another playmaker and someone with an ultimate that allows you to join very quickly, something that Shopify really likes in these compositions, especially around their side lane play.
Yeah, and then like Skarner, if you're playing a short range team, you never want to play into Skarner. So I was like, yes, you need to ban Skarner because they are showing very short range on the side of Dignitas. These are the types of comps that I find pretty exciting because they have to make moves, you know? And so you're gonna get some playmaking. The Alistar is also gonna go feed right into that. You know, they're getting some big beef. They're getting a lot of ability to fully commit to their you know, win conditions here, even if they're shorter range. You've got to get your engages. You have to make your engages effective. You have to get your skirmishes before you even get to the 5-on-5s because Shopify will outrange you. And so they're going to be the ones trying to poke with Ezreal, and you have to be very quick and decisive.
The good old blind pick Renekton. It's interesting because they are saving this R5 for Fudge, and he has a plethora of things that he could pick from. Not a lot of top laners removed outside of the Gwen. Ooh. Yeah,
I feel like
Gragas?
some amount of damage is going to be helpful here because we see all these big health bars, and you know, Ahri with some of the changes, unless you go more full AP, like if you're going for the tankier build, it can take a while to get through all of that. So we'll see if the Gragas, what build it's going to go here. But either way, that's the matchup Fudge wants into Srtty on the Renekton.
Yeah, I like it because some of the things it was hovering, I was like, please don't pick a Malphite when the Sylas is on the enemy team. I mean, Gragas ult is also, pretty good option for Kane's to steal, but there's just, I feel like there is just more versatility on the Shopify side because they have the options of playing to Ezreal in range, and like Ezreal is one that does have an easier time when you're facing basically full melee. Like, honestly, one of the shortest range comps that you can like draft in this game on the side of Dignitas, with Kalista also just being, so short range, but really thriving on that all-in engage. And so it's going to be a nice kind of push and pull this time around. And
also notable from Dignitas' bot lane, yes, it was a Kalista, but then Alistar makes me think at least level 1 it's not going to be very aggressive. Alistar takes time to come online. A reminder for non-subscribers, we'll see you in 30 seconds. But for everybody else sticking around, Dignitas' bot lane strategy has not been exactly what I expected it to be coming into this match, and I think it's cool to see some growth out of them in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing for me is that I really want Dignitas to also be looking to do a lot of early playmaking. Again, like, in their Super Week, Dignitas actually went from bottom, like 7th overall, negative 1,019 gold difference at 15, to 3rd with only C9 and Fly ahead of them just for those 3 games.
Wow.
So I think, like, again, even though they want that 100 Thieves game back, even though they definitely got out-rotated around the map with this kind of semi-global composition that Shopify brought up in the first game, I definitely want to see a little bit more early playmaking, especially out of Sheiden, to try to set them up for success.
Yeah, anytime you're doing Sejuani into Wukong matchup, the Wukong is looking for the scaling play, looking to get to the level 6 and looking to utilize Conqueror later on. So Sejuani has a lot of openings early on, to your point. Once you get level 3, a lot of plays, a lot of possibilities there. So we definitely will keep the camera a lot on Mr. Sheiden as Keine gets a nice little health trade.
Okay, not a bad way to start.
There you go.
Lay down, black fight back. Okay, so that's what I was saying.
No, let's not get big. It's play dead.
Okay, play dead.
That's
play
it.
dead. So that was the bear conversation that Kobe brought up.
But the black one is definitely run away.
But they said fight back. They're on my side. I don't know.
Wait, you fight the black bear?
I feel like the brown bear is bigger. Like, the black bears are actually kind of small.
But
okay. You know what? I'm gonna do it next time, and if I lose, if I lose my fight against the bear, I'm blaming Twitch chat. Again, I might, come back dead or not come back.
I think at that point you might have other problems, Kobe.
But
I mean, black bears are pretty chill, honestly.
They are, right?
They just kind of hang out.
I've seen dogs chase them up trees before. They're kind of cowards, but you know what? We'll get there eventually. Oof. We don't have a Bvoy bear locked in for this game. Get back into the game itself. Palafox continually taking rough chunks from Keine here in the early laning phase.
What do you do if you see a Palafox? You fight it.
I think you fight it.
It's just like a black bear.
You absolutely fight it.
Katie's doing it right.
And I mean, we see prio for Dignitas in all 3 lanes to start this game, right? Like, wow, thank you, production. I love when you follow what I say. As we see. So again, like, regardless of whatever Sheiden decides to do, he should have a lot of options and a lot of coverage coming out super early.
Ooh, Srtty takes a turret shot right there. A little rough, but yeah.
We
don't have to talk. It's fine. Why did I even point it out?
If this was Jonas Strong and LTK, he's like zooming in on it, or one of their observers is zooming in on it.
But every lane with priority right now for Sheiden to play with, and you mentioned the highlight level 3. You can start to make things happen potentially. So eyes can be on Sheiden. Currently, still just on the clear. That's Fudge actually walking forward, getting a big chunk onto Srtty. Let's see how aggressive Srtty wants to get in response. Had the rage and trades right back. We got low health bars, guys. I mean, it could kind of pop off at any moment in any lane.
I mean, the junglers are on the bottom side, so it's not going to pop off up there just yet.
Okay.
But
okay, that's a second turret shot,
on my toes here.
Yeah.
I'll be ready for it,
Kangas. Keep taking turret shots, man. I mean,
look, that Sejuani is taking that crab, guys.
Yeah. What do you do?
Everybody knows that one. You always fight the crab.
Yeah, I learned that from Blabber himself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that,
so sometimes maybe you don't trust the rhymes. It's not always fight the crab, right?
I mean,
I guess so. Maybe it's fighting in the river right now. Contractz in trouble as Sheiden flash follow. Ooh. Nice try for Palafox to save his jungler, but now Palafox, no, he's not in trouble. He's fine, and he plays hero.
But the end result is, because Sheiden can play off the prio of his lanes, because he was able to get up there, now he is going to be able to get that second crab. I was joking about the first one, but it is see him again using that lane prio super well.
Yeah, the question isn't what do you do when you see a crab, it's what do you do when you see an enemy jungler near a crab. That one you definitely fight.
And in the end, you know, they trade flashes here for both junglers. Contractz, of course, is just going to try and go right back into his second clear. So we'll see what Sheiden can do with the extra crabs that he has in his pockets, the extra golden experience to fund this Sejuani, but Seos is already early roaming here, as we expect from him with the Ezreal pairing.
Well, we've gone for the full lane swap, of course, so Bvoy and Tomo are going to match up in the top side, but Seos, even when they're not making a play, he just wants to be by Contractz. You can see on the minimap, he was still hovering by the Wukong.
Get that jungle proximity up, pump those numbers. But yeah, you know, trying to make the pass there through mid lane, allow Palafox to get his reset off here on the Ahri, come back, and he is going the tanky Ahri build. You know, the double ruby crystals right into the Rod of Ages, the more bruisery build. But no matter what you build on Ahri, you don't get as bruisery as a Sylas.
No, not at all.
Especially not when you're getting that additional life steal Sylas, a little bit of that drain tankiness, but it's no early action from any of the lanes here. Oh, Sheiden missed one of those Krugs. We saw that. But he's going to go for a reset now.
I haven't seen a lot of
it's one of my hobbies, actually, is to just
like
troll our players live on broadcast anytime I see the tiniest thing.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
I'm sure that at some point they should be able to do it back, but as of right now, I don't think any of them are interested in watching my gameplay, so we're good. It's not a future I see likely anytime soon. Sheiden on the reset, though, now going back to the top side. Grubs are up, so we can start to bring our attention to that objective and who's going to get the setup first. Contractz is coming a little late. I think Sheiden's just going to start them up. Yeah, and Sheiden's going to get level 6 off of just getting one of the grub packs, so immediately get that, get level 6 on Sejuani, and you win. So they should be able to secure the entire pack off of that, pushing top side, pushing mid side, pushing mid lane, excuse me. Yep. Oh, he's not level 6 off of just the one. Okay. 2 then. 2? There it is. Yep. Okay. So full 3 picked up for Dignitas. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Contractz hovering here, but
he's
he really
not happy
can't
about it.
He's just
he just fed Sheiden another control ward.
Yeah, I guess he's just waiting for that buff to spawn up. Yeah, there's really nowhere else to be for old Contractz. Not as aggressive, not as bombastic of an early game as last time around, and he's falling behind Sheiden. I mean, you cannot though as the Wukong here. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's well played by Dignitas and Sheiden, but Shopify there, he's still looking for his level 6. Meanwhile, the top side farming just fine on up there. You know, invested in the coal for Bvoy. So stacking up the team. Remain calm, continue to farm. Nothing to see here. But I
feel like a lot of champions kind of want to do that a little bit.
Especially in the face of this Dignitas lineup. So now we're really looking at where Sheiden going to spend his Sejuani ultimate. You know, he definitely has a lot of possibilities here to at least try and work through some flash cooldowns maybe first. Sure. If not, go for an all-out kill and see what they can get done here for Dignitas, because Dignitas, you know, looking to bounce back, must-win game for them right now, right here in this series.
Yep, and they were pinging that Drake, and Kalista is down on that bottom side, as well as Alistar is also heading over, so both bot lanes will be returning to bot lane, but that still should give Dig the prio to potentially go for this Drake. Yeah, because they got there first. Tomo and Isles get to hit the wave, and mid lane, Keine hits the wave well before Palafox, so they're just going to start it up. They, in this window, have prio in both. Yep, and Dignitas correctly using all their early game prio here. See if they fish around. They want to get a little bit more. Should just be the dragon, though, in the end. So accruing all of the early game neutral objectives for themselves, according to plan. Yeah, I mean, 3 grubs plus dragon, and now maybe a fight here in the mid lane. Keine getting aggressive, steals the Ahri ultimate.
One charm is not enough for Palafox to get away without losing half of his health bar.
Nice little health trade there from Keine. Of course, with the catalyst kind of early on there for both sides. You know, they have a decent amount of regen for both of them. And nothing expended on Palafox's side. Still has ult, still has flash and everything. So let's see if they decide to choose their moment. Because Wukong's moment does always come post level 6. So he actually has some options now.
But I gotta say, despite the fact that Contractz is all we can talk about in game 1, all we can really talk about right now is, Isles goes for a slight trade onto Sejuani, is the fact that Sheiden is just so far ahead of him. Full control over these neutral objectives, much faster on the clear. He's gotten like 5 out of 6 scuttle crabs, I believe, something along that line, and it's just
He's about to kill another one. And this is, I mean, again, like in Dignitas's strong, like when they did look strong in Super Week, again, even though they lost 2 of those games, it was off of early games like this, right? Where I think Sheiden is playing really well. Like part of it is the matchup, and then part of it is just that he's playing really well with these prior lanes that they've drafted.
Definitely agree, and especially too, I'm kind of looking at the Sylas here to do a lot of work for Dignitas. I mean, they're getting turret plate money really early on. All the lanes are going super well for them too. So let's see if we actually get some action at the second pack of grubs. You know?
I love the timing from Dig here, because Sheiden covers bot, they get a plate to Tomo, go for the reset, pickaxe picked up. Oh, Tomo's actually still going bot. I assumed that they were going to lane swap again here, because Srtty has TP and the grubs are spawning, but interesting that Tomo's heading bot.
Yeah, Tomo, well, now he looks like he is.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very clear play. Interesting to see.
Well, he's coming now, so it's kind of like that meme, you know, where the car gets off the freeway. Change lanes.
Stop at the red light. Go, get back on the freeway. Yeah, okay, here we go.
They course corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Tomo.
As you said, you know, and to the point that Kangas is making, it's like second pack of grubs. We are strong. We want to be here. We want to fight. So they've got their pieces here now.
Not the craziest gold lead, but hey, it's something right now. And again, with the Kalista versus the Cole Ezreal, I'm imagining that Tomo should be able to do some work right now. But as of current, it's Shopify Rebellion on the grubs. Sheiden just needs to smite 1 away, I suppose, just to make sure that they're able to get 4, and they do get the first one. That smite from Contractz over the wall. They're going to have to give away the rest. Shopify Rebellion are not interested in taking that fight.
Yeah, I mean, they really shouldn't be, because I think they'd probably lose that fight. So, again, like, it sucks to get shoved into your side of the map. It sucks not to be able to make a play, but I do think that's the right call, because I really don't think they could have contested.
Yeah, exactly. Break up the 6-pack.
Yep.
And then get out of there. Palafox here.
One charm
a little backwards
to the right. Okay, it's fine. You know what?
I thought we said we were ignoring
you know, I think I pointed out the first couple. I'm going to stop from this point. But now Kobe can't, so I'm actually just passing the potato.
So that was also the in-game thumbs up emo.
Oh,
we could just
we have a lot
use
of thumbs
that
up.
one.
That's better than the Twitch one for sure.
Isles?
Oh, Isles is a little alone right now, but they don't quite have enough damage with no items completed on Wukong.
And we'll see Tomo getting this turret plate down in mid. And we have the Ahri going up against the Renekton, as Dig really want to make a play on the spot side, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of maintaining presence here in the jungle. The next step is to move all your vision into the enemy jungles, and you can try and make those pick-off plays. So you rotate, you know, between these pushing lanes, see how many resources you can steal away. They're trying to mess around here, but Palafox covers Contractz' red buff. So Sheiden isn't going to overreach, and it's just going to be that. Here comes Isles, though.
Fudge. Keine does steal the ult away. Flash early from Fudge. Isles is taking it up. Alistar can take this for quite a while. Keine has all the time in the world to make this one work. Can he get the first blood? 13 minutes on the timer. Keine takes the turret shot, and it's Isles that picks it up. Almost traded back 1 for 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, Fudge actually was able to trade that back. So, I mean, good on Fudge. Gragas is despite the fact that they had 2 Gragas ultimates there, one of the most difficult champions to dive. And as you see Keine going down in exchange, that's definitely not what Dig would have wanted from that play.
Yeah, plus the 2 flashes used in the attempted dive there. Even though Isles does have Hex Flash, Alistar not going to feel too sad. That is the extra one. And also notifies the entire rest of Shopify, all those resources immediately used. So Shopify right back out to this dragon. Fudge has teleport if he wants to join. So does Keine though.
And importantly, Isles was the one that picked up that kill, so Keine didn't even get the gold. Keine can teleport in here. Let's see if he goes
teleport.
For it. Deep teleport flank right now. It's being answered by Shopify Rebellion, but Shopify go for the engage onto Sheiden. He's alive for now, but now he's gone. Srtty on the flank, but he just can't decide who to go onto. Isles, meanwhile, taking up all the damage. Now it's Tomo as the focus. Shopify Rebellion have their targets, and they're shooting them down. 2 for free for Shopify.
Yeah, and really nice recognition of what they could do from Dignitas setup. Srtty is not able to do anything despite popping the dominus on the back half of that. They were immediately onto Sheiden.
Really good from Shopify here. No hesitation. You know, they weather the early game storm in the face of the Dignitas onslaught, and then when they open up the moment here, immediately turn as they come in, and teleports are channeling. So good execution. They got their dragon here to stop the Dignitas dragon stacking, which is something that if you upset the momentum of this type of comp from Dignitas early on, is going to be critical.
Yeah, and as we see both of these TPs coming in, but yeah, immediately removing Sheiden before Keine even gets in, right? He has to blast cone over. Srtty is not able to get anything done despite popping the dominus, and without those 2 kind of really controlling the fight, Shopify Palafox is in trouble.
He is in a little bit of trouble, has to flash away. That was a polar bear, or no, polar bear you can't get away from, right?
Oh my God.
So that was the brown bear.
I apologize because we have really botched this bear thing.
I think we have
cut it.
But you know what? No, we'll cut it after one thing, because I've been told that production's prepared something for us to show off there. Specifically around a very certain bear. Kobe, we didn't say what happens when you run into a bear in solo queue. Apparently this is your ranked win rate.
Versus Volley Bear.
You're 50-50.
So yeah, because I almost always
He's usually the Volley Bear.
I'm
this is just 2025 also.
I'm actually surprised that I didn't. Oh, it must have been when I didn't have first pick.
Yep.
Because I will always first pick it. Anyways,
Palafox in Dove right now. Isles misses the pulverize, has a headbutt available, so he can at least proc the aftershock, but now trying to run away. Palafox and Seos can look to chase down. Tomo did not have the ultimate, but Isles still gets out regardless.
All right, so we can all agree the bear stuff is done.
Yeah.
No more bears.
I think we've all proven that we know nothing about bears.
Kobe can't even get the bear every time. It's crazy.
All right. So
I mean, Kobe does know how to play Volley Bear. That is what I'll give him. But real bears. Anyway, back to the game. As we see Seos potentially setting up some vision around this top side. Roaming as always, both ADCs in the mid lane, and then we will once again have Palafox matching up against Srtty's Renekton in the spot lane.
Shove in, Palafox is going to catch that one. Meanwhile, the Herald is up, so no surprise that the 2 people with TP are the ones away from the Herald. If anything breaks out, they can get into that action quick, but right now it's Sheiden starting it off.
Shopify here, not going to let them have it for free either, because this one, wait a second. This one would be the third, which would give them a feat. But kind of checking here to see if you can make anyone scared and grab anything, but nobody kind of flinches there in the attempt.
Look for the body slam, does not find it. Dignitas just back away. Now back onto the Herald. Shopify Rebellion. Ooh, this could be a big poke. Tomo now half health. Could be harder to go for the fight, but Isles just snap engages onto Bvoy, trying to get away, and he's out of there already. Tomo in some trouble. The Palafox with the teleport does get in there. Fudge as well. Shopify Rebellion trying to turn the play, and Isles, despite being tanky, will go down. Now can Dignitas fight through it? They got Keine. They got Srtty. They're ripping through Shopify Rebellion, and Dignitas turn the fight. They'll take it.
And the big thing there to me is, again, Alistar did his job, right? Like you said, Kangas, Isles goes down, but he lives for so long, pops the ultimate, and Keine and Srtty are able to get in.
And the big reason Isles goes right now, look at the mini-map. Gragas is catching the wave on top side.
Yep.
So the teleports come in from Ahri and the Renekton, but the Gragas one was pretty significantly late, and by that time, the extra kill has gone through. And once you're in the all-out brawl with this very short-range Dignitas team, then the Sylas and the Renekton are just ripping everyone to shreds.
Also, Isles being able to punt Fudge back into the fight for Srtty, again, to be able to come in. Really, really nice stuff. Immediately recognized when they could get onto Bvoy immediately, and although Shopify were able to get Tomo early in that fight as well, clean execution on the back half of it.
Yeah, critical stuff there from the Alistar. So Dignitas retake a little bit here in the game, retake the gold lead for themselves. The objectives are still up, you know, for grabs, and the Dragon's actually going to come up pretty soon too, since no Rift Herald was taken in the aftermath. Does mean that Dignitas could get that feat with either one of them now on either side of the map, so it is highly likely that they could just you know, trade one for the other and still grab it.
Gotta be one of the latest feats of strength I've ever seen, though. We're 19 minutes 15 in, and we're still talking about.
If they get tower and either objective, then that'll be it for.
Yeah.
Fudge.
If they are able to do
that top turret.
Yeah, there it is. One turret goes down. Dignitas pick it up. Now it comes down to a neutral objective dragon on the map. It is the Mountain Dragon, another Mountain Soul as well. So let's see how Dignitas want to set it up. Currently, they don't have a lot of wards down. They got a couple of shallow.
Palafox does not have teleport, and he's on top side right now for Shopify. So I think Dignitas should just grab this thing. As they have been timing Palafox's teleport, so you can already tell Shopify are like, we are not going to mess around with any sort of dragon fight. You know, that is the higher priority of the objectives. Rift Herald is pretty low priority. Plus, Otacon is on the bottom side of the map, so Dignitas will use their advantage here. They grab that dragon, they get their feet, and now with the reset from Shopify, though, Dignitas have to be a little bit careful about the counterattack if they go too far.
We've got to be worried about Fudge right now as Isles actually keeping him in place. The turret is actually the focus here from Keine. And now Shopify Rebellion, while they still have the turret, are trying to turn the play on its head. They get one, and they're going for the deeper engage. Isles misses it, and now trying to be Srtty on the front line here. Gets a lot of damage out. Sheiden goes in, but look at Palafox on the Isles. Keine now turns attention over there, but they've lost their bot lane. They're going to lose their top lane. Srtty gets shut down, and it's Contractz with the kill. Keine will fall. Shopify with a massive fight right at the Otacon.
You called it, Kobe, and they did not listen.
The reset was so good from Shopify, and Dignitas, they just overstep. You have to keep track of, you know, since they just reset, the reinforcements are on the way, Emily.
Yeah, and look at where Tomo is here, right? Because immediately Contractz onto him, and then on the back half of this, I was a little bit worried about Palafox spending so much time trying to kill Isles because Srtty is still really strong, but Fudge like just barely survives, and then they're able to take him down.
Oh, such a close fight there. If Sheiden's able to get that one last stun on Fudge, who knows, maybe Srtty can go for more, but at that point, it's looking rough for Dig. Kobe, to your point, Shopify, they had the reset, they had the better timer.
Yeah, I mean, nobody from Shopify dies there at all. It's just really nice. They used the remnants of their tower, even though it was low health. Fudge does a good job, like, re-engaging after kind of drawing the Dignitas resources a little bit too deep into enemy territory. And now, back out on the map with these buffs. Let's take a look.
And any fight where Bvoy is just going to be able to free fire for that is going to be good news for Shopify. As you see, he is on that Ezreal, super comfortable, and also almost always tops the damage charts.
And unfortunately, Tomo just got popped at the start of the fight, so he could not answer in kind. Shopify Rebellion now with a gold lead will go towards the Herald. Take this one down as well. The Voracious Otacon revives. There's no chance of Dignitas contesting, so Shopify Rebellion, for the foreseeable future now, do have control over the Rift.
Yeah, and the gold swing went heavily in their favor as well. I believe this is the largest gold lead we've seen in this game. Dignitas got up to, I think, 1.2 early on, but again, like, some missteps, but pretty good from Shopify to be able to absorb a lot of this early Dignitas pressure, and also just capitalizing on their overextensions.
Yeah, Shopify, I think, looking definitely improved here as we get into the best of phase of split number 2, with both of these games kind of stacking up. And now, presumably, they'll be able to use this lead to gain a bunch of gold and really push that lead.
Making another play here onto Tomo. Cleanse not on cooldown.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, this champion is just cursed, man. Kalista has been struggling in pro play, and it looks like it could be another loss. Shopify take a tier 2 turret.
And it does seem like whenever Sejuani has his ult up, he's looking to use it, right? Like he's looking for a pick. It's worked out in most cases, I'd say, in this game. And he and Contractz definitely have their eyes set on Tomo. Whenever Tomo's out of position, they've been there almost immediately.
Yeah, he either needs to flash that. Yeah, I guess you just, you just have to flash that at that point. It's really the only way out of there. So Tomo, again, struggling here early, and not being able to turn it around on the Kalista means that, Shopify Rebellion, that's one of the threats they had to worry about, and that's no longer as big of a threat.
And now, the only way out for Dignitas to a win in this game is fighting. I was
going to say sneak a Baron.
They're so... okay.
No, don't give Contractz the chance. He's going to go for that steal.
Maybe that's what they want.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, they're so short range that Shopify, with also the gold lead now and so much, vision coverage, like there's not a lot of angles for Dignitas, so you kind of have to full send as the short range comp, and maybe some teleport wards would go a long way too. Maybe they could get some sort of teleport in, flank, close a trap that way. But so far, Keine at least got some split push done on the top side. And now they can look around. Doesn't seem like there's a lot to move on, though.
Keine is, I think, taking a buff away right there. They have a lot of wards on the top half of the map, and Baron is spawning. So I know we were joking about sneak a Baron, but Dignitas do have currently a lot of teleport flank wards if they find a pick, and then they could potentially actually look for that.
And they also have Kalista, right? Which, again,
true.
Neutral objectives go pretty well for her, despite the fact that I wouldn't say this is like the highest DPS against a Baron, right?
There it is.
Helps to secure it. Teleport in, though, and engage from Isles. Bvoy's the target, but he's able to get away as the Ezreal. Contractz and Fudge now trying to fight on their side of the flank. Palafox gets the safety. The damage dealers can do their damage for Shopify Rebellion and Dignitas. Their engage did not work. All their cooldowns used, and now Shopify's turn. Big charm landed. Tomo saving Isles' life. Do they go for the re-engage? Now throw the cow in. It only lands on the Fudge. The front line is great. Contractz jumps on the Keine. He gets over the wall. Srtty and Keine might be able to turn this fight on its head. It's Sejuani, and Contractz is the focus, but he gets under the turret. Contractz back to safety. Now Palafox tagging in. Bvoy throwing shots across the wall the entire time. Nobody goes down.
Oh, these fights are going so long. The Conqueror is fully stacked. Wait, they're still going to fight him off. Dignitas.
Are we riding the Herald into the pit?
They did it. They did their teleport.
Yeah.
Are they riding the Herald into the pit?
Get...
Oh, man. I was excited for it. Oh, he's going to chase Keine? No. All right, sorry, your point, Kobe. I was getting really excited. I thought we were going to have a pop-off moment right there.
No.
He's driving back to their own side.
Yeah.
But it's a huge moment because they're kind of pinned into a corner here, Dignitas. They don't have a lot of options, and so they full send it. They use their teleport ward. They fight this super long fight, and they at least get themselves an opening, a way into this game. They can hope for a win con of a Mountain Dragon Soul. Getting themselves 2 soul point is huge.
Yeah, and the Mountain Soul would change a lot, right? Especially the sustained damage coming out of this Ezreal. That will set them up in a really good position if they're able to get it. And it also forces Shopify to fight around the next Drake regardless.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's crazy that Shopify weren't able to win that outright, though. They had the gold lead. Now it's still very large gold lead, 4,000 in their pockets. So kind of crazy that Dignitas were able to hold the line. They were just constantly, forcing Shopify to jump back in, then, saving their cooldowns and jumping back. Isles buying space for them. I think Isles, in particular, having a very high-impact Alistar game so far.
The Bruisers doing their job in that one. Now, and we've been talking so much about Baron sneaks and Baron steals, but there's a lot riding on if Dignitas could even just steal away the next dragon. Like there's a lot of ways, since they are so tanky, that they could still get the mega buff even if they don't outright, you know, have a huge victory in a fight or something like that. So Shopify do have to be a bit worried. Even though they have a gold lead here, there's a lot more excitement in the next few minutes to come. Still 3 minutes on the arrival of that Dragon Soul possibility, but that's what everybody's looking towards.
Yeah. Baron is up. We'll see if either team is interested. My guess is they're just going to be basically trading over vision and waves.
Yeah, there's
until that Drake spawns.
Maybe a window here. Nah, they stopped Tomo's back. I thought maybe they would go for something just because Tomo's half health. It would be a little awkward to walk up, but he can heal up off the wave and be just fine. So yeah, I don't think we'll see immediate action right now. It's just going to be about pushing these waves in and playing for the map. If anyone's out of position, go for the pick, but outside of that, I doubt we'll see a, you know, full-on front-to-back fight. But Dignitas are walking into vision that doesn't belong to them currently. Shopify Rebellion are not going to punish, though.
They're beefy, so that's that's the advantage. They go for their face checks, and they're just grouping up again. Here we go. Ahri's even coming over.
Nope, Srtty is looking for something maybe.
And he actually is the
might be able to collapse
right
on
now.
him,
No, not full committing. And it looks like a reset as well from Tomo. So yeah, I think the big ticket item is going to be that dragon. 2 minutes until that's up. It doesn't seem like either team wants to force anything at the Baron. I think it is just a waiting game.
Well, and if you're Dig, you can also just leverage it, right? You're you're actually in the better position when it comes to Drake because you are already on soul point, right? So as we see both teams pushing out side waves, meeting each other, responding to the side wave pushes.
It's a dance.
We're going to be setting up. It's one of those like really complicated, like boring dances.
Oh, like at the ballrooms, like with the really fancy like masquerades and stuff. Okay.
And it's more complicated, you know, for Shopify. Like you're saying, Shopify have more to lose. So they have to keep vision of both Baron and this Dragon, because either one going away is going to be hugely detrimental. So they have a bit more to worry about while they're dancing here.
I'm trying to think, what's the name? It's just ballroom dancing, actually, isn't that? Just
I mean, I remember when I was in like middle school and had to learn the gavotte for Cinderella.
The gavotte?
It was a pain in the butt. I'm not a very good dancer, okay?
Well, now I gotta look up what the gavotte is. See if we can pull that out. I'm gonna make you demonstrate for Twitch chat.
You're acting like I remember it. I do.
I do. I knew you would.
So we're gonna picture pop up Emily doing the dance?
No, we are not. No, we are not. Absolutely not.
No, well, because we're watching the dance on screen right now, Kobe.
Okay.
We're almost at the finale. 25 seconds.
We are seeing a great dance, right? We have 20 seconds now. Bvoy ults the wave.
Will it be the last dance of this game?
Of this game, potentially. Of this series, potentially, if Shopify Rebellion can win it. Because, yes, they don't have the Dragon Soul point, but if they just, like, win the fight outright, they have the gold lead, ace Dignitas, there's a world where they could just go for a game-ending play if they have the right waves to play with. But right now, they don't. They're actually getting their bot wave shoved down. That's a TP early from Srtty. Fudge goes in. He's now going to frontline for Shopify Rebellion. Bvoy's trying to get into position with Palafox as well. Keine takes the Ahri ult, and Srtty's on the flank, but he's spotted. Shopify Rebellion know that the Crocodile is there. Fudge is going to go mark him, while the rest of the team front to backs. Isles and Sheiden are just going to force the engage. Keine jumping in and trying to get on Bvoy, but he gets the safety. Keine following him. He's stunned up. Bvoy lives! Contractz on a killing spree, but can the Ezreal carry? Tomo's trying to do what he can. The Ren stack stacking up, but he falls as well. Shopify Rebellion have cleared the threats. It's just Srtty left for Dignitas, and he doesn't have enough gas in the tank. Palafox and Bvoy played it beautifully. Shopify Rebellion will find their team fight win.
They're going to deny the Dragon Soul and collect the Baron. Only Isles survives, and Alistar can't do anything about it. Here's another look at the start of the fight, Emily.
Yeah, and as Isles sees the angle onto Bvoy, but he's actually not very, he gets pulled back, and then basically spending everything to try to get onto Bvoy costs Keine his life. And even though Tomo is able to get in a bunch of damage, he then goes down. I mean, Isles did his job there, but I think they all just tunneled too hard on really chasing after Bvoy.
I would have to agree. And Isles got chunked to half health before even getting in there. So you can see that was a rough engage forced by Dignitas. And now it's Baron, picked up by Shopify Rebellion.
And as you already set up, Kangas, right? Like, if this fight goes Shopify's way, they now get that they are able to deny the Mountain Soul and they get Baron. So we'll see what they're able to do with that now with this 7K gold lead.
Yeah, and when you have the range advantage plus Baron pushing minions, Shopify, this is exactly what they want to crack inside the base. Dignitas, it's a little bit difficult for them to deal with minion waves because they're so short range. That's why all pro players really value that, that in your compositions for later. So Dignitas.
Hey!
Golden statue! That's an ego move.
Yeah.
It's rarely seen, but the golden pose in front of your opponents.
Look, they're terrified.
They don't know what to do.
Big shiny belly.
Yeah.
I'm confused. We're all a little confused.
You try and bait them in. You want to go rub the shiny belly for good luck. But
I use the bald head as a distraction move all the time.
You're well acquainted with that strategy.
Yep, big shiny thing. People want to go for it.
I found myself many times.
My hand is just gravitating towards Kangas.
Raz has rubbed my head many a time. So I know it works with that sample size at least. Well, Fudge's stasis there aside, I was going to bring up the fact that Contractz still keeping up that kill participation. He's there for 12 out of 14 kills. Shout out to Palafox as well as they're doing the final work with his Baron buff on the side lanes. They've been playing aggressive together as a team and always making things happen.
Yeah, and as we see them setting up on this top side, we have Palafox pushing in this mid lane wave, which should be coming in a bit. They're going to take down that bot tier 3.
And you'll see the side lane will tell you when they're going to make a move, if Dignitas are going to make a move at all, because they need the Sylas. So they kept Keine split pushing, and now he's recalling, so they're looking at it.
That was a flash from Isles there, and now Tomo going to go back in. Dignitas find a couple of members, but they can get over the wall. Seos too tanky, so Srtty's actually getting chunked. Keine is here now. Seos is the focus. Shopify Rebellion should lose their support. Dignitas will defend the base.
Yeah, they lose their support. I was wondering what was going on this side, but it just looks like Shopify completely backed off because Keine was there.
This just reminds me of the comms listen-in that we had at the end of last game. And we heard Seos plead, guys, don't let me die.
Yeah, they let him die that time. They abandoned him. He was all alone.
Yeah, but the Sylas teleport in that we were looking for, that flank, he teleported in on the other side. And so better to cut one loose and leave than to lose multiple members there for Shopify. So just one inhibitor was the cost. Dignitas still don't have a lot of options for this team. They continue to have to full send, and they're building up more beef here. Another one completed for Sheiden with the extra magic shield here off the Keine Rookern. So we'll see. Can they send it again?
Kalista's not having a fun time in the LTA North thus far. As we see Shopify kind of setting up their wave on this bot side, and that Drake will be coming up. Well,
he didn't need it. All the Raptors.
He didn't need it. He wasn't interested. That's for Fudge. Fudge gets one nugget.
That's for Bvoy.
Oh, man, that's like when there's one slice of pizza left in the box and everyone's like, oh, who's going to have it? And then somebody just sneaks it when no one's looking.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to your AD carry, though, right?
Okay, fair.
Well, I'm from Minnesota. Use pizza the best.
I'm from Minnesota. What we do when there's one slice of pizza left in the box, nobody takes it. You just throw it away because nobody wants to be the rude one to make the commitment.
Minnesota is a weird place.
It's a very silly place. Very, very silly.
What about Summoner's Rift? How does it compare to
Summoner's Rift? Is always a very silly place.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a very serious place. We have very different experiences on Summoner's Rift. I lock in when I load up.
True.
Maybe I should take it more silly, though, because the locking in has not netted positive results so far for my elo.
All right, well, Shopify have locked in this game thus far.
Dragon's up in 9, so that's a focus here. They currently control the access point. Slight shove in mid, and the Super's pushing top side. Yeah, Isles, I believe, was that ultimate pop?
Renekton?
Yeah. Srtty is looking, he's on that bot wave now, so they'll spot him.
Yeah, Shopify actually have done a very good job this time around of cleaning all of the possible flank wards. So they've taken out any of the teleport wards that Srtty would want to use, and they're just going to give this dragon up because and when you're looking at it from Dignitas' point of view, you basically have one more full send left in you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to expend it on just the third mountain for Shopify. You need it on a really meaningful moment when you can have some setup or you do have a control, some sort of ward to flank on.
One final play could signal the end of the game, and a reminder that the last 2 times that these teams faced off against each other, Emily, you should be very aware of this, longest game of the year, technically of LTA history, and we actually have here the top 5 longest. We are approaching top 5 again between these 2 teams, and I'm going to say we're going to hit it. We're only a minute and a half away.
Yeah, we're definitely going to boot that Fly versus 100 Thieves game out of the bottom.
This whole Dignitas...
Probably, yeah.
3 of the top 5 will have Dig in it. That's crazy.
And 2 of them will have Shopify. The other 2 will have TL.
Yeah.
We're going to make this a regular thing, this Shopify Dignitas longest game. I think this is going to be a reoccurring stat that we look at.
Always a banger. What can he say? But it really is that final nail in the coffin moment here from either side. That Dragon's going to be important, but Baron's now on the Rift as well. Srtty's pushing that bot side. He should get that tier 2 turret. And Dignitas, as long as they don't get caught, Isles, he's tanky, but he would have to burn ultimate, and that would make it really rough to actually approach a Baron. So nice that he's able to get away, but that is tier 2 turret bot side falling.
All right.
We'll see Fudge if he's going to keep pushing in, or he's going to be backing now.
Charm lands. Isles chunked a little bit, as now Keine has to catch his top side. The fact that Shopify Rebellion, yes, they get the inhibitor, but all they fully netted off of that was that next Dragon. I don't know if they're not going to pull the trigger on this Baron while the supers are providing that pressure. Yeah, that's the last super wave here. So Dignitas will actually have a little breathing room now in that top side.
Yeah, and I mean, they will have that open inhib mid, and then, that inhib respawning in right now.
And we're official top 5 longest games of the year. Dignitas versus Shopify Rebellion. And it doesn't take that much to even get past that. They're close to breaking into like top 3 territory here.
Next one looks pretty good for Shopify, though. Contractz with the Guardian Angel here. He wants to get into the back line, utilize that revive. They're going to draw them over to the Baron. And Dignitas, let's see about it. Everybody forward. Can they kill Bvoy this time?
Tomo was not with everybody else from Dignitas, but now he's able to catch that mid wave. Top is still slightly in favor of Shopify Rebellion. They're not willing to start the Baron, though. They're trying to bait Dignitas into them.
Golden again.
Find one person. Wait, he did?
Yeah, no Zhonya's. He's mega egoing on these suckers every time.
Wait, did I miss this? What?
Yeah, he just did it right there, up by the blue buff. He's a fan of the golden statue strategy. So
we got to change where he has him.
I was just about to say, you might need to change the key binding.
The first one I understood, he backed and picked up the zone. Is this one a little rougher, as they will start the Baron now, but Srtty is nearby, and now here comes the engage. Isles onto Contractz, Seos in trouble. Keine has the Ahri ultimate and the flank, but he's trying to get locked down, as now Sheiden trying to back him up, goes back in onto Palafox, into the stasis. Sheiden about to fall. Tomo free fire, and Srtty out of the back line, and Shopify Rebellion start the fall. That's a shutdown picked up. Contractz is dominated, but Keine and Tomo are the main characters of this one. Keine picking up a double flash from Contractz, trying to chase down onto Isles. He's about to go into the GA as Keine will lock him in place. Srtty and Tomo on top of him. Dignitas come online when it matters, and they win a massive team fight. Contractz shut down. Keine massive.
Full send successful for Dignitas, and they're going to get a Baron, and we are going way longer into this game.
Maybe they'll beat their first game, honestly.
They could.
And I mean, this is what, again, like, because we've been talking about why is it so dangerous. So many of these targets on Dignitas just take so long to kill. So even when you get on one of them, right, like Keine goes golden there, they're not able to go on him. Then Srtty into the backline right there.
And almost nobody was ever attacking Tomo.
Yeah.
So all of the beefcakes on Dignitas were sustaining damage, but they don't care about it because, like you're saying, they take so long to kill. They're so bruisery, and the Kalista just got to free fire there, hopping forward. Seos was the only one throwing spells at the Kalista. The Leona ultimate went there, and then he tried to snare him, but you know, Tomo instant cleansed, and he was just auto-attacking forward, sending Isles forward as well, and they get their Baron. Now they're the ones with with the buff.
Oh, now it's Fudge getting caught out. He does have the stasis back now, but still hit by the Glacial Prison. Trying to survive Srtty's onslaught. There is the zone. He's buying time for the rest of the team to come in. He is quite beefy. In goes Contractz. Big triple knockup. Trying to get further back. Tomo gets hit by the charm. Contractz is on top of him with the clone, but now gets back to the rest of the team. Fudge is already down. Dignitas take out Seos. Dignitas solar flare onto Contractz. That's 3 of them. And Dignitas weather the storm. Finds 3 kills. Baron buff pushing the mid wave. They're going for the game.
Yeah, that's the game.
Dignitas, all 5 members up. There's no chance. Shopify Rebellion do have their damage dealers. They're going to have to try and hit this wave, but there's another one waiting. Dignitas have a cannon wave. Final touches here. Do they want to go for the dive or just take out the turrets?
10 seconds on Alistar ultimate. They could wait for that, but they just
taking
go.
a lot of damage to start things off, but that's one turret already down. They're going to take down the carries. That's it. Dignitas bringing us to game 3. GG.
Beef is the way of the future.
Yeah.
They don't need range.
That's the message from this game.
Everybody bulk
That
up.
is this game.
Everybody just bulk up.
Yeah,
Both losers.
Dignitas went to the deli counter, slapped the 5 down, said, "Give me beef. Let's go." Whew. I mean, GG's, what a comeback there. Shopify Rebellion, it was a slow bleed for the first 25 minutes, Emily. Shopify looked like they're in the driver's seat for a bit there, but Dignitas never gave up.
Yeah, and I mean, we called out, okay, good on Shopify to absorb the early pressure from Dig, right? Good on Dig to survive and also get that Drake stacking into a point where they did force Shopify into making some tough decisions, especially around all of these incredibly tanky bruisers they had, in particular the Renekton and the Sylas.
All right, you know what? I want to hear from the lounge. Are you buying beef right now after that win from Dignitas?